Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey here, once again with another video on The Flash Season 4. So welcome to the rebooted series, I guess you could say, of Theory Busters. Now I did this a lot in Seasons 2 and even Seasons 3 as well of The Flash, and then the corresponding seasons for Arrow as well. This video is going to be more of a breakdown rather than me trying to prove whether the theory could or couldn't happen, because this one's a bit of a harder one to necessarily bust, if you know what I mean. So I'm just really going to be going into more detail, and that's why it's more of a breakdown, but this will probably be the only one where it's just the breakdown rather than me quote-unquote busting the theory. Now, a lot of people wanted to see this return, which was awesome to see in the comments section of my previous video, so do expect to see these every now and then. I don't really have a set schedule as to when these will come out, just really when there's a spot for it to come out. I guess that's the best way to put it. But of course, this series is a very viewer-orientated or subscriber-orientated, so do submit theories that you would want to see me go over, like in a breakdown sort of thing, or like, you know, busting the theory. Leave them in the comment section down below, because you guys are the ones that help make these videos. And of course, if you're going to enjoy it, please leave a like to support the series, and of course subscribe to the channel if you are new. So in this video, we are going to be going over maybe not the hottest theory out there right now, but definitely the one that has the most videos being uploaded about it of recent. And as you can tell by the title, it revolves around Gideon, and when or if Barry will create Gideon on the show, and if we'll see it take place in a future season at some point. Now, Gideon has been mainly used by two people in the Arrowverse at this point. The first of these being the Reverse Flash, or Eobard Thawne, as we saw in Season 1, and from what I remember, Season 2 as well. I think it was in the episode the Reverse Flash came back. He did have Gideon, but correct me if I'm wrong. And the second person out of these two is Rip Hunter with the Gideon AI aboard the Wave Rider. However, as we learnt in Season 1 of The Flash, neither of them were actually the creators of Gideon. That achievement or accomplish actually belongs to Barry Allen. In the same scene that Barry is given the information drop that he is actually Gideon's creator, we also get our first little hint at when Gideon may have been not necessarily created, but the process of her creation may have begun. And that is when Gideon says that Barry Allen is the director of the CSI division at Central City Police Department. Obviously, we don't know when he gets that promotion or for how long he holds that position or title, but you can guesstimate when that would be roughly. On a side note, a few people have asked who is the current director of CSI at Central City Police Department at the moment, because for Barry to take that title, you would think it would already have to exist, and he's either taking someone else's job or they've been promoted and then Barry's been promoted to that position. Now at the moment, I don't think there actually is one. If there was a director of CSI, they would be the one that's roasting and having a go at Barry Allen all the time, not Captain Singh, which we usually see on the show. So possibly the director of CSI position is one that is created later on when it's more necessary and needed in that department, because maybe the CSI department isn't that big. Really at the moment it's Barry, now that Julian Albert is probably gone from the show. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens there. So in the 4-show crossover from last season, well actually it was before that in Legends, but the majority of people would have seen it in the Invasion crossover thing, we saw a message from Barry Allen aboard the Wave Rider from the year 2056. So it is clear that at that point in Barry's life, he is fairly familiar or possibly even very friendly with Rip Hunter. And as I said earlier on, we do see Gideon aboard the Wave Rider, which is under the possession of, at the beginning of at least, of Rip Hunter. So the easiest first step in regards to Gideon's timeline, I guess you could say, is that she was in the possession of Barry Allen, because that's who created her, and then she was passed on to Rip Hunter. Now it did seem that most of, if not all, of the other Time Master ships in Legends of Tomorrow in Season 1 had a form of Gideon or a very similar AI aboard them as well. However, that was in one quick scene, and I do feel it was done for comedic effect. If you remember, it was when all the music starts playing, the ships start dancing and singing along to the song. It was done for comedy. So it is really hard to take that scene too seriously. However, if you have to, you could just say that Rip Hunter brought the Gideon AI back with him, and then it was integrated into the entire fleet of the Time Master ships. And then we go back to Season 1 here, and this is actually in the finale, when we have the Reverse Flash or Eobard Thawne talking about the time sphere, the time travel device that he has made, and he reveals that it was actually designed by Rip Hunter. Now obviously it's hard to determine where he got the designs from. Did Rip give them to him willingly? Did he take them? Did he steal them and stuff like that? But the Reverse Flash may have got Gideon from Rip Hunter when he got the designs for this time sphere as well. But either way, it all circles back to Barry learning of Gideon in the Flash Season 1. So Barry creates Gideon, possibly gives it to Rip. Rip possibly gives it to Eobard Thawne, who then, travels back in time, gets stuck there, and has Gideon in the Time Vault, which then Barry learns about for the first time in Season 1. So with all of this information we have at the current stage, this is important to remember that this is before all of the new seasons for the Arrowverse shows start up, like The Flash Season 4, Arrow Season 6. You can really only narrow down when Gideon will be created to around, I would say, maybe a 20 or 25 year window, with the years being like 2025 to either 2045 or 2050, somewhere around there. And I know that's a big window, but really, as I said, it's hard to really narrow it down anymore. So really that's what we're working with. And those numbers just really come down to how advanced Gideon is in regards to her technology. There is no way she would be able to be created at this point in time. Even in the next 10 years would be a big stretch. Like, don't get me wrong, Barry Allen is one smart dude, but he isn't that smart. And I do feel that Cisco would 100% be involved in the design and creation process of Gideon. Like, Barry coming up with the idea of her technically would make him her creator, but Barry would 100% need some help on the technological side of things with Gideon. But this all leads into another question that a lot of people have been asking, and that is whether we will actually see Barry, and I guess Cisco as well, create Gideon at some point on the show. And in regards to a present time sequence on the show, and by that I mean, so whenever they create her, it's like modern day. So they create her in 2018, 2019, 2020. I don't think we're going to see that. We would have to get to like season 15 to see that possibly happen if they were going to create it in that window I've set from between like 2025 to 2050. However, there is still a chance it could happen in a time travel episode of The Flash, or the best option in my opinion for it to happen in an episode of Legends of Tomorrow. Now obviously Legends of Tomorrow is based around time travel, so it wouldn't hurt the show if they were to travel to a time period where, say, we meet a future version of Barry and Cisco, possibly during the Gideon creation. And also, Gideon is pretty damn central to Legends of Tomorrow. As I've said before, she's the AI of the Wave Rider. So they could do an episode where it's literally a Gideon origin episode. Maybe something's wrong with Gideon. They have to go back in time to try and figure out certain things that created her. And that's where we could meet future Barry and future Cisco creating Gideon, which I think would be actually a pretty cool episode, because one thing that a lot of people have noticed is that we actually haven't seen Barry Allen on Legends of Tomorrow. We haven't, apart from the crossover episode. We haven't seen him on the show, which a lot of people want to see. So this would actually be the perfect opportunity to actually include Barry on Legends of Tomorrow. So I don't know, let me know what you think of that. And in regards to it possibly being on an episode of The Flash, from what the producers have said, The Flash probably won't deal with too much interactive time travel anymore. And by interactive time travel, I mean, Barry traveling to the past or the future and meeting a past or future version of himself. So not interacting with different versions of yourself on the timeline. So that's what I mean by interactive time travel, and it does sound like they're not going to do that anymore. There'll still be time travel, they just won't be meeting future and past versions of themselves. That's something they need to avoid. But to sum it up, Gideon was a very cool concept that was obviously born on The Flash, but she is a very hard thing to fit into the show because she's such advanced technology. It would sort of make like unfair advantages, and also because she's from the future, you don't want to learn too much about your future. Barry learned the hard way about that in season 3. Like, seeing stuff that happens in the future can be good but also be bad at the same time. But moving Gideon to Legends of Tomorrow was a much better move in my opinion, because she actually fits in with the show a bit better. She becomes more of a central part because she is like the brain and the heart of their main form of travel. So I think it's actually smart moving something that was very intriguing on The Flash and moving it to a show where they can actually use her properly, or to a better way than what the Flash TV show would have been able to with what they're going for throughout their seasons. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could leave a like on the video just to show your support for this series. As I said, this one's a bit different. It's not going to be like the other ones because you can't really bust this. It was a bit more difficult to do. But do let me know all of your opinions in the comment section below. Do you disagree with me with anything I've said on Gideon? Do you think we could see her be created in like season 7, 8, season 5 or 6 of The Flash? Just let me know all of those opinions in the comment section down below. And would you think it would be pretty cool to see like a Gideon origin episode on Legends of Tomorrow? Because I think that's the best place they could fit it in, just because they do travel through time. But just let me know of all of your opinions down there. And as I said, do drop any other ideas for theories that you want me to do a video like this on in the comment section as well. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you later, guys, and goodbye.